Welcome to the first quarter moon in Taurus reading. First, have to start with, if you see this look that I got going on, it's my beautiful, lovely Kiki, aka Chula Quiles, aka the baddest bitch at Station 40, aka the best. I love her. So check her out, and if you ever need your makeup done, she's the one to hit up, But yes, anyways, I pulled cards, and these cards are interesting because this card, I know it's come up before, the cafe card, create sacred space, and we've got the Emperor card, and we also have the Pyrite card. And I love that this one came up again. I find it really interesting because I think that this is just the energy of right now. It definitely is the energy for me and probably for people other than myself. But it's interesting because I pulled this card for myself in a reading that I did and immediately went and picked myself up a piece of beautiful pyrite. Love it. But I have this piece and then little pieces that I carry with me to really bring this energy in because I feel like I really need it right now, and maybe you do too. So I'll tell you a little bit about it. So we'll start with pyrite. So pyrite is also known as fool's gold, beautiful, obviously shiny stone. And this is supposed to be tend to be towards the solar plexus chakra and the sacral chakra, so our creative center, and also our how we shine our light into the world. And this particular stone wants to give us the clarity to move out of being overwhelmed and take us into a space where we can really contemplate what is going to be best for us and how we can best move through situations. This card really wants us to be able to see ourselves, see our actions, see our reactions, and to be able to mitigate those, to understand how we can best live our lives, how we can best move through the world and not just be constantly triggered and reacting in ways that don't serve us and don't lift us up and make us feel better. And so this stone wants to protect us, protect our energy. It creates an auric field of protection around us that can protect us from pollutants, from harm, from emotional, psychic attacks, mental attacks, and just keep us in the places where we're supposed to be, places that are going to be most supportive for us, and to give us the guidance that we need to get us out of places that are not supportive to us. And also, I read when researching this stone that Native American tribes, because this is a pretty common mineral to find, they would polish them and utilize them as divination tools, like mirror divination tools. And I think that is a really interesting thing to think about because, it's so shiny, and if you do polish it, it is like a mirror and you can see yourself in it. And there's lots of different ways to do divination. Like reading the cards is one way, and working with crystals is one way. Tapping in with your ancestors and talking to them and being open to whatever responses they give you is another way. There's so many ways to divine from different perspectives, spirits, dimensions, whatever you want to call it. There are ways that you can tap into things that are outside of this physical realm. And not only can you do it, but I think it's immensely important. I say that because it's had a phenomenal effect on my life when I stick to it and when I work on things. And the reason why I came to this stone was because I had this crazy situation happen where I felt like I was being called to be here in this moment, this particular moment. And I actually put myself in a situation where I definitely could have gotten into a fight. I was about to literally get into a fight outside of my house. And And I wondered, why did Spirit want me to be there? And I took it farther than just wondering. I sat down with my cards, I pulled some cards, and I sat down with my altar, and I talked to my spirits, and I asked them, like, why did you bring me here to this particular situation? And they came with answers, and they came with this pyrite, and they're like, get yourself some pyrite, do the divination with it. You imagine that kind of protection around you to take care of you through this situation, because you were supposed to be there, but you also don't need to use your energy in that way, and you could have been protected if you utilize the tools that we give you. And so it's all full circle. And so I just want to offer this to you, this story to you, to let you know that there are tools. And like, if you're not into the crystal thing, whatever, you know, it's not about the thing that you do. It's about finding tools that work for you, that keep you protected, not just in the physical realm, but in your emotional realm, in your mental realm, in the psychic realm. Like, there's lots of different facets to yourself that need protection and need you and your awareness in order to continue to be protected. So I offer this to you, hoping that you can protect yourself and you can take the time to really look into yourself and look into what it is that you want and need and how you can protect yourself. And then this card, reaffirming that message, the cafe card, creating sacred space, brown card. So again, it's the earth element, and it's like really the space in the earth that gives us our abundance. And I think I talked about this before already, but you know, like coffee shops, over coffee, there's so much discussion that can happen. There's so much that happens that keeps the world moving, and so many people can gather and share philosophies, share ideas, and those ideas can be the breeding ground for the change that comes in the world. So creating sacred space is really important. Community building is predicated on creating sacred space. And what do we have if not community support? Because honestly, money doesn't mean anything. Like, money is a fake game. The economy, capitalism, all of this, yes, we're deeply engrossed in it, but it's not real. What is real is our physical health. What is real is the dimensions that we're playing in, regardless of whether we think we are or not. You know, like, we are sacred space. Our bodies are sacred space. And it is our job to pay attention to that and to do what we can to not just like say sacred space and not give the practice and the care and the love and the attention that sacred space actually requires. Like, you can't just call your body a sacred vessel and then do things that you know don't make you feel good. And I understand that it's not always just easy to change patterns that are deeply ingrained in your life, but that's what this card is saying. It's like, okay, yeah, it's not easy. Things aren't always easy, but it's still very important, and it's still worthy of your time and your energy and your work and your practice. So create sacred space, however, wherever you can. Realize that you are sacred, and in order to really hold yourself sacred, like, what does sacredness mean to you? How can you enact that more in your life? Create that space for yourself. And the last card, the Emperor card, I love this card. It's got this beautiful tall redwood tree and the moon eclipsing the sun, and so it's daytime, but it's still this feminine receptive energy eclipsing the sun. And so I think when I think of this card, I think of the confidence and fortitude that it takes to be this tall tree and to continue to grow and to continue to have knowledge and wisdom that is not only for you but to be shared, and to also balance the masculine and feminine, just as the moon is eclipsing the sun. It's not just letting your ego take over everything. It's also not just letting yourself fall into the dark, subtle realms that keep you out of the physical reality. You have to find the balance between the dreamy, psychic, whatever, esoteric realms, the dark realms, the subconscious realms, the ways, the patterns that we repeat over and over again. And we have to find our way out of those caves towards the light. And we also have to give love and respect to the nourishment that we get in those dark times, in those dark moments, in that subconscious realm, and the reasons why we are in those patterns and loops. We're conditioned. We have things that are set in us based on our ancestors and our epigenetics and things like that. Like it's literally in our cells. Some of these things, whether it's good or bad, there's things that are in our cells, and the bad stuff, the trauma, the things that need to be worked on, we got to work on them. Because if you don't work on them, it gets passed on. Whether you have children or not, the trauma gets passed on one way or another. It's really our job to take accountability for ourselves and to do whatever is necessary to stand in our truth and also share our wisdom. So this card isn't like put full energy out or put full energy in. It's finding the balance between the two and knowing what that looks like to you, because it's different for everybody. So it takes time, practice, and effort to figure that out. It takes the sacred space to figure that out. It takes the looking at ourselves to figure that out and the protecting ourselves to figure that out. So I wish you all of the luck in all of this work, and I'll see you next week.